Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon. Our final session of these AI-based virtual PD sessions. If you've been with us from the beginning, thank you. Appreciate that. So today we're going to be going over visual storytelling with Google Vids, a brand new video tool that every New York City employee has access to now. Let's get this party started here. So as we're waiting for people to join, please, if you feel inclined, let's add some information to the chat over here. What is one of your favorite movies? Just to get us in the storytelling mood. We'll do this for about a minute and then we'll jump into it as we wait for people to join us. But if you feel inclined, please put in the chat. Kelly, thank you for kicking it off. Wizard of Oz, Rocky. I love Rocky. I always get emotional when I watch that. If anybody's going back to Wizard of Oz, if anybody's ever been to Las Vegas and has seen that new venue, the Sphere, they recreated the movie Wizard of Oz using AI, and they're showing it there, and it just looks incredible how they did that. So that's cool. Sound of Music, thank you. Again, if you feel inclined, feel free to put in the chat what is one of your favorite movies, just to get us in the storytelling mindset right here. I have some screenshots. Indiana Jones, Up, Lincoln, Darkest Hour, thank you, and Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, folks are joining us. Feel free to put it in the chat. We'll continue. So my name is Santi Karasami. I've been leading these sessions. I started this company, Project Recess. I started about 13 years ago. We've been working mainly, exclusively with New York City Public Schools, helping schools, partnering with schools and districts leverage EdTech tools for teaching and learning, focusing primarily on Google solutions, and AI is a hot topic right now. So we've been leading a lot of sessions on AI, hence these sessions now. And because of that work, we're recognized as a Google Cloud Partner of the Year. Any Robin Williams fan, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and if you're just joining us, we're sharing some of our favorite movies in the chat. Feel free to put it in there. Today's objective, focus on Google Vids, right? We're going to learn how to create engaging video content using Google Vids, leveraging some AI tools to tailor learning experience and meet the needs of our diverse students and also our colleagues. We can, create these, videos really to go over any content, and should be pretty cool. So here's an overview of the agenda for today, overview of Vids, and then we're going to go over some of the features. I will say this, I think we learned this last time we did this session. There are two versions of Vids. There's the free version that everyone has access to, and there is a paid version. I need to get more information on how a school or actually an individual would upgrade a license to get these like particular AI features in there. So everyone has access to Gemini. I'll explain a little bit more about that. But if a school wants to embrace all of the features that Gemini has to offer beyond the, as they say, the bleeding edge of these these offerings, these tools, then you could buy an extra license to increase the offerings you have within these tools. So I'm going to go over some of the free features and some of the paid AI features, just so people are more familiar with how this works. Okay, so that being said, I've been sharing this with all the sessions that we've been leading. Gemini is on for every staff member in New York City. Huge news. That's a very big deal. One of the main questions I get asked, why should somebody use Gemini, in your school-based work as opposed to, let's say, ChatGPT? Well, at this moment, so Gemini went through this very rigorous security process. So everything you do in your Gemini account, when you're signed in with your @schools account, it's all safe, it's all protected, all that data is secured. That really can't be said with other AI tools out there. I think ChatGPT is going through the security process. I'm not sure where they are, in that process, but Microsoft Copilot is safe also. But it really comes down to safety, as I have detailed in these slides here. So just like a ultra brief overview. Yes, Gemini is enabled. That's how you get to the link or get to the interface, gemini.google.com. That's considered the Gemini app. some information here, but like I really wanted to focus on the data protection. So the past sessions, I focused a lot on Gemini, how that works. I just wanted to briefly share that, you all have access to this. But yes, if a school did want to have access to all the features, there is a way to, I think, purchase individual licenses through FAMUS. I'm going to send an email out to everybody with the recording of this session, with links to all of this information, CTLE hour, surveys if you need that also. So don't worry, I got you covered on that. But the main thing that we're going to go over today is Google Vids. All right, so what does that look like? Again, if you've ever used a tool like iMovie before, to make, a film or some sort of short video, it's kind of like that. Vids is kind of like a mashup between Google Slides and iMovie, which I think is brilliant because many people here, I think in general now, are familiar with how to use Google Slides, right? Very similar to PowerPoint. We're all familiar with that layout. Google has given it this extra feature or created this new platform where you can make movies, but using this sort of like a very similar interface as using Google Slides. How do you get to Google Vids? Multiple ways. You can open up a new tab if you wanted to follow along and go to vids.google.com. Again, make sure that you're signed in with your @schools account. You also have access to this with your personal Gmail account and another business account if you have that. But for the purpose of this, I recommend folks signing in while you are signed in with your @schools account. Okay, so you'd go to vids.google.com, or you can go to your Google Drive and click on plus. You would create a new vid. Let me see if I can pull up what that looks like right over here. You see. So if I'm going to share my Google Drive. Okay, so here's my Google Drive. So again, if you go to new, you can go to, you have all the usual suspects, new folder, etc. But then you also have new Google Vids right over here. You could create a new Google Vid. And when you click on that, it opens up a new tab. And then you see this window over here. Oops. You see this window over here. So it creates this window. All right. Lisa has joined the chat. Lisa, a brand new Google Vid aficionado. She'll be sharing some stuff in there. Thank you for sharing that.
I love it.
I love when Lisa loves something because Lisa's seen it all. So like for Lisa to be impressed by something that says something. So Lisa, you have your tech and learning article, low key flex on there of your different articles. But yeah, folks, check that out. And again, so I'm signed in with my Project Recess account. Shout outs to Laura also over there. So my Project Recess account has like the advanced AI tools in Google Vids. And so I'll see some extra options here. Okay, so you can, where's that? You can plan your video story by having AI generate an outline. I'm going to show you what that looks like. If you sign in with your Vids, you most likely will not see some of the extra options there. And again, that's because some of those are paid features, but you can still do a lot with your free account. Okay, so I'm just going to switch real quickly back to my slide presentation, and then we'll jump into the demo and we'll show how that works. So at least two ways to get to Vids. Open up a new tab, go to vids.google.com, or you can create a new vid directly from your Google Drive. Very convenient. So we'll be exploring the features, okay? So things you can do in Google Vids, you can create a storyboard. You can do voiceovers, and I'll go over what that looks like. And then something that I really appreciate about Vids is that you have this access to this stock media and AI generated library. So like a big hurdle that people encounter when you're making videos is footage. You might have footage of your school and some other things. That's great, but maybe you need an establishing shot of, I don't know, mountains, clouds, what have you, some like filler video to make your video much more visually appealing. So instead of like finding sources or random videos online, you have this like really great library of stock images that's included with your New York City account. Alana, that's a good question. Do students have access to Vids? I'm not exactly sure. I think they do. If somebody has the answer to that, please feel free and put it in the chat. If if there's a student next to you, have them sign in and go to vids.google.com. I'm not sure. That's a great question. I'll get back to you. And again, if somebody knows, I would love to know the answer to that as well. So these are some of Vids' powerful core features. Again, storyboard creation. You can do voiceovers. And so with the version that we have with New York City, you know, you can use your laptop's microphone and record a voiceover. And what's really interesting is that, like, with this AI add-on, again, if you were to, you know, buy a license to that, you can have AI create these voiceovers, and like they sound pretty good. You just type something in there. Yeah, you just type something on there, and the AI would read it. And I'll demo what that looks like. So you can do voiceovers. As I mentioned, stock media on there, so you have access to all these different like media tools. AI generated imagery, a lot of interesting things. Okay, let's jump into the demo. Let's see what this looks like. Share the screen here. So again, vids.google.com. It'll take you here. Your screen might look a little bit different. You might not have plan your video story or turn ideas into video clips, but you do have upload and create. So you could create a video from your own you know, recorded videos and images. You could record directly from your computer, and like that option, record and share, that's really great for like a screencast tutorial. You could see, you know, like your like picture in picture, where you have, you know, let's say you're doing like a tech demo of, you know, how to use Google Docs for your students. You can record something where you have your face at the bottom, and then you see your screen, and you're going through like the different windows. So like that's a really cool way to create a screen recording. And then there are really great templates here. So if I click on start with a template, I think Vids was originally created for, you know, just like traditional businesses. So there's a lot of like businessy type templates, you know, introduction to yes.
I don't know if you saw it, and you might be saying this now, but
Please.
when you scroll like near the bottom, there's I don't know if you're going bottom or top. I think it's,
oh, here we go.
There's an about, no, the other way. There's an about our schools template, and there's also an about me template, which I think would be good for, you know, back to school.
Oh, nice.
But it is toward the end. Because I was just looking at this, it's kind of sad. I think this, if I was going to give feedback, which I probably will, look, there's ask the teacher there. Okay, hold on. School, no, policy training. It's in this. Maybe it's up a little more, but it is. Okay. It is here. But they should categorize it and have a school section so that we could see it more easily.
I agree, and so I'm glad you said that. There's usually a feedback button on here. You can click on that. But I wonder if I see different templates because I'm not signed into my DOE account right now.
But it looks the same, so I think it's there. I think you're just going too fast.
Oh, sorry. I tend to scroll too fast. What's the name of it, Lisa?
I think it was called Back to School, and it's toward the bottom.
Back to School. All right. Let's all look at me scroll to the bottom here. Back to School.
And this is good just for people to see what's there anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, as we're scrolling through again, like a lot of these, you know, can be kind of businessy or like private chef, tech gadget, but like really look at the color scheme and look at how the layout of it is, because you could always update the text and just make this your own. Virtual summit, back to school. You said, oh, welcome to our school. Is that it? Is that the one? Lisa, no. I'll keep going.
Oh, I'm on mute.
Oh, okay. Was it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, this is the one that I usually use. So I'll click on this just to test it out. So as we saw a bunch of different templates. I'm going to start with this one. This one's like incredibly school focused. Obviously, this is a welcome to your school. I know Lisa has done some work with like other schools using this and like adding information that's pertinent to them. So let's test this out. So you could insert the selected scene. So again, if you think about this in terms of Google Slides, so each slide is its own like rectangle in that view. And when I click on the rectangles here, these are all, you know, scenes, right? Because this is like a video-based thing. So you can import certain ones. Let's just insert all the scenes. All right, so I'm going to click that. As you can see, it added all of these different scenes. If I hit play, welcome to our school, foundation values. Okay. I hope people heard the audio with this. Give me a thumbs up if you heard the audio. Okay, thank you. All right, cool. Nick, all right, thank you so much. All right, so a lot of thumbs up, thank you. All right, so it added all of the scenes in here, and then you can tell already, just like the way that it's designed. So if I'm gonna get super technical and invoke my BFA in film from a past life, this is considered a non-linear editing platform. Essentially, you have different tracks for different elements of your video. As you can see here, these little scenes, this is your video track, or you can have images in there, right? So if I move the playhead further, I click it here and then I hit play. You can see the playhead move in real time, and then it's going through each scene, right? So that's the video, but then you also hear music, all right? So if you've never edited a video before, like this is essentially how it's done. You have one track for your video, and then another track for your audio, at least two tracks, right? So this thin, narrow blue line or like rectangle at the bottom, this is the music, right? Your like the background music. So again, if I play it, and that's all like stock audio that's included in Vids. So again, you don't have to scour the internet, go to these different sites to find all of these different, you know, like video assets. Like it's all built in already. And so that's here. What's nice, if you click the audio, if you double click on it, you can see the different waveforms there. So you can go ahead and make cuts to it. And, you know, maybe you want part of it to sound louder or like fade out at a certain part. Like you can go ahead and edit that, all right? So you can play around with it. So let's start with the basics. So if I move the playhead back to the beginning, welcome to our school, maybe we want to be personal about it, right? So then you just click directly on welcome to our school. And again, this is very similar to Google Slides, right? So instead of welcome to our school, you know, welcome to, you know, PS 333, okay? And then you can go ahead and just hit enter again. Our foundation of values, you know, maybe you don't have a foundation, maybe you want to change the text. Again, it's as simple as like clicking on here, double clicking on it. And as you can see, you can, the options of tools will change at the top. So right now at the top, there's not that many tools up here, but if I click on the text, more tools appear, very similar to the tools you see in something like Google Docs, Google Slides, etc. All right, so our foundation, you know, maybe it says, you know, our mission and, you know, vision. Again, you have total control over what this says. And then you just continue. Go ahead and update that text. All of these animations are built in already. In terms of updating the animations, I'm not sure. I've not experimented with that. Like if for some reason you didn't like these animations, let me see. I would imagine you could update these just like editing, you know, oh, here we go. So it's kind of hard to see, but there's like multiple circles in this little icon. So that's the same icon as including a transition or motion in Google Slides. It's the same icon. And so it's the same idea. If I click on this, oh, cool. It has all of these different types of motions in there. So right now it's rise. And so I will say this again, you know, I have a background in video and film editing. Video editing is a lot of watching the same clip over and over and over again. It's a lonely art. Many nights of me by myself with headphones on, looking at a screen. So if you've never edited a video before, just like get used to that. Get used to just like looking at the same 3 seconds over and over if you want it to, you know, act, you know, move in a certain way. Yeah, again, I get excited when Lisa gets excited. So if I click on this and I play it, and again, it's all dependent on how quick your internet is. Let's see here. Of course, I'm going to have some sort of tech issue here, but I'm going to wait for this to come back. Sometimes I hope my video feed is still there. I'm gonna hit refresh and see. Yeah, okay. All right, we'll try this one more time. All right, so if I click on one of these, you'll see the motion, and you can just choose a different one, okay? Whatever you click on, it's gonna give you, that's pretty cool. It's gonna give you a preview of what this is, okay? So that's actually pretty cool. I like that preview a lot. So you have a bunch of different things here, fade, rise, okay? And again, you can test these out, choose something that's appropriate for your message, all right? Don't get too crazy with these. Or get as crazy as you want. It's up to you. But this is cool. You can choose a duration also. Oh, this is cool. This is the first time I'm seeing this. You can choose if it's animated by the character or paragraph. What does that mean? So if I click on elastic slide, you see how it's going like letter by letter. You can choose it by paragraph. So again, it's super customizable. Well, that's interesting. Okay, cool. So feel free to test that out. When that, if you're using a template, I'm going to go to this slide right over here. I wonder if there's any motion in here. Around this one will have motion in it. Maybe not. Okay, so you just choose some of these things. You click on it, and then you want to click on that multiple circle icon that represents motion, and then that'll give you this option right here where you can update the animations. I could imagine students getting really into this and updating the animations in whatever way they choose. Are there any questions so far? I want to make sure nobody's lost here. But if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to unmute yourself as well, and I'll do my best to answer them. Moving on to the next scene. So there are built-in, this populated some stock footage in there, right? So I'll pretend that the school that I'm working with is in, elementary school. This is more like a college lecture hall. So if I click on this, so that scene doesn't really relate to my school, but it's really easy to update these visuals. So again, if you click on an element, you'll typically get different options at the top. So if I click on this scene, okay, so again, I'm not clicked on it. If I click on it again, it'll say replace video at the top. And so it's as simple as clicking on that video, and you have options here. You might not see generate a video because, again, like I'm on the Project Recess account, and this has like the updated AI tool. So this could generate a new video. That's usually hit or miss, but like it's pretty, sometimes like it works really well if you're doing like different scenes, like a forest or a desert or different backgrounds like that. Let's give it a try. I love a good live demo. Okay, generate a video. It's going to use their VO2 engine, which creates videos. All right. Let's see what happens. Generate I'll say 3-second clip of an elementary school in New York City. Part of me is kind of scared what will happen, but you know what? We're all in this together. Let's see what happens. And we can see the numbers increase as we do this. We'll let it cook. We'll let it come back, or we'll come back to it. As that's cooking, let me go to this slide right over here. I'm going to click on it. Again, you can replace the video. I'm generating a video in the background, but actually want to show folks what the stock and web looks like. I'm scared if I click on this, it'll stop generating. We're so close. We'll see what happens. You know what? Let's do an exercise in patience, and we'll see what happens. Okay, it's done. Good. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to click on insert and see what this looks like. All right, so so that video did not exist. Those people don't exist. This was all AI generated in like a minute or two. I'm going to play that one more time for folks. I'm kind of impressed by that. That looks like a school, okay? And you have your, diverse representation of people in there. That was pretty good. Oh, I like that I froze on this scene right here. One of the ways where you can tell if something's AI generated for now is like you want to look at the hands. Sometimes the fingers get weird because again, this thing is just like generating video on the fly, and sometimes eyes look off, but it looks like those people are supposed to be holding hands. The position of them is kind of weird, and then the fingers are kind of weird. But in 3 seconds, it's hard to notice that. I'll just play it one last time. That was kind of like an awkward, like it's kind of awkward how that woman's holding, that girl's hand. But again, who's really like looking at the video that closely? This is not bad for generating a completely new video in 2 minutes. So that's pretty wild. All that stuff is going to get better with time also. So again, that option of generating video from AI, you would need to purchase like an individual license on Famis. I think it's like $100 a year for a single license. You can buy like a few licenses at a time. I'll send all that information out. But to be safe, I like just clicking on the video and going to the stock and web options. Okay, so like you have these here. So again, I clicked on the video, click replace video, stock and web, and then you just search for something. So if I type in elementary school, all right, you have more like vetted videos of a young boy sitting in front of all these. Some videos are a little weird. Okay, I mean that's just life. But you can go through these. Okay, I'm not exactly sure where this library is from, but these are all royalty-free videos that you can use at your discretion. All right, this one looks decent enough. I'll try this one. Okay, this looks like a really nice video of students. All right, so I'm going to click on that. Oh, it already added it on there, but also look, it extended the length of the video. So this video here, I'm not exactly sure how to tell how long it is, but it looks longer than the original one. So keep that in mind when you are inputting one of the stock videos into your timeline. It may change the timing of everything, and that could be super annoying if you have specific timed scenes, like maybe you have a voiceover that's a certain time with like text and everything. So keep that in mind. You can also trim this video. We don't have to use the entire duration of this video. So if I click play on this, I'm going to move the playhead to the beginning of this video. Okay, hit play. I don't know if you caught that, but what I like about this video clip is that it doesn't seem to have been edited in the beginning, because in the beginning of the clip, like you see that young girl, she's like getting ready, and I think they're waiting for the director to say action, and then they start walking. So let me play it one more time. If you're using this clip, I would definitely cut out that first like few seconds, right? So how would we do that? So you move your playhead to where you want the clip to be cut. So like I would say right there. And then if you go to, I know there's different ways to do this. Oh, actually, okay. You could move your, okay, this is easier actually. So you move your mouse to the beginning of that clip and just drag it in. Okay, and then there's like a little preview of when it starts. Okay, I'm gonna start from there. So let's see if that worked. All right, so I dragged it in. So now if I move the playhead to this AI generated video and then I play it, and it goes straight into their action. And again, this clip is still too long. So now I'm gonna go to the other end of the clip and I'm just gonna drag it in. All right, so now, okay, you can see that now the clip is 9 seconds. Before it was 14. This clip should really be no longer, in my opinion, than 4 seconds. So I'm just going to drag it in that way. All right. Now, again, video editing, it's a lot of just watching the same clip over and over. Let's play it one last time. So that looked pretty good. Again, video editing can be super, difficult and technical depending on what you use. I saw that Adobe Creative Cloud. I know at one point every teacher in New York City had access to that, and then that contract expired. Now it's back. Now every teacher in New York City has access to the full Adobe Creative Cloud, and so that includes like Illustrator, Photoshop, but it also includes Adobe Premiere, which is like an industry standard video editing tool. If you or your students want to like get really into the technical aspects of video editing, that's a great tool, but there's a big learning curve. Using something like Vids, your young students can get into using this. Your tech phobic coworker could start using this, because again, it's very similar to using Google Slides. I'm going to pause there. Does anybody have any questions over what I just went over right now? I'm just looking at the chat. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to unmute yourself, but in that, we'll just continue. We'll just continue at this point, okay? All right, so I showed folks how to edit the text. I showed folks that in your templates or in your text, if there's motion like that, you can click on the elements. You want to make sure you click on that animation object, or you can even click on format options and you can change the text, the drop shadow. You can change the color if you wanted. Okay, you can do that. But if you click on the motion tab, you see all of these different, that actually looked pretty cool, fade. You have all of them demonstrated there. So it gives your presentation, your video some life. Speaking of life and just creating life out of thin air, if you wanted to replace a video, you click on it, you click on the video, click replace video. And again, if you have the AI option in your account, you can generate a video or image. Obviously, you can upload a video from your computer or your Chromebook. If you recorded something, you can put it in there. You can record your own video from your webcam, a bunch of different options, all right? So if you just wanted to record a video like this, you could. And then what I was just showing folks, there's a pretty comprehensive video library where you can type in different things, right? School. And then you can just go and search through it, okay? Oh, and this little drop down on the side, apologies if it's small, but right now it's searching for videos. You can do all stock images, music. Okay, so as I was saying at the bottom, that blue rectangle, that thin blue line down here is your music background. Okay, so right now it's something called ecology music. Again, what does that sound like? Airy and light. It sounds fine. But if I type school and then like I switch the search criteria to music, let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, I'm curious to know what Google Vids thinks school music sounds like. I'm going to play this. Let's see what happens. That's fine. This one, my cool school.
This is my school.
That's going to be my new ringtone. Okay, and then for lastly, I'll play this one. So yeah, you would go through, see which one fits the vibe of your video, just for this demonstration. Like let's what does it sound like again? Sure. You can click and drag this here. All right, so again, you can click and drag it and just drop it in the timeline. And so it added it there. You want to make sure it syncs up with the beginning, so you can move it back and forth. Okay, that's super intuitive. And so if I hit play, it's going to sound terrible because it has the original music and the new music. It's going to sound, cacophonous. So I'm going to hit play. It's a lot of stuff on there. So then you would just delete the other one, right? You would click on it, hit delete. Now you have the new music that's on there. And again, let's see. So that's how you add music. That's how you can like, again, you can fade it in. You can add different transitions to that. You can increase the volume of these things on here. All right, so if let me just get out of this window. Okay, so if I clicked on one of the scenes, there's nothing here. If I click on the audio, this blue rectangle at the bottom, and oh, I'm looking for that. Hold on. Okay, you double click on it, and then this little icon of a speaker shows up. It says sound. If I click on that, it's going to give me this window. All right, so again, you double click on the audio track. You're looking for that sound icon. You see this, and then you can change the volume. Right now it's at 100. It's a little loud. If I drop it down to 50, say 49, and then now I play it, that's a little more tolerable. And then so you can go through, you can make cuts to it. Some aspects can be louder or what have you, but that's how you go in and change the overall volume of the clip. Again, I'll do it one more time. You double click on it, you get the speaker button, and then you see this. You can do the fade in, fade out. And it's good to bring it down if you wanted a voiceover in there. Okay, so what does a voiceover look like? What could that sound like? So I'm trying to look for an area where I can have, okay, here we go. So again, yours might look a little different. I think on the DOE like free version, like the record button is at the bottom, but like you should have something that says scripts. Let me check. I have it open on another window that you can't see. I just want to make sure that, okay, yeah, you have that also. Okay, so you should have something that says scripts. So if I click on that, it's going to bring up this window here where I can add a script to the different scenes. And what I love about this is that, again, back in the day when I was doing this like manually with like other video editing software, you would just like have to write the times where you want to add your script or your text or your voiceover. It was like a very incredibly manual process. This is at least automated, where if you click on scripts and then you want to show script for all the scenes, like you can choose what scene you want your script in. So let's say, let me play this from the beginning. Welcome to PS333. Let's start with that one. All right, so I'm going to go to scripts. You can also click this button here to see them all. So that's scene 1, and I can say, hello, folks. Welcome to PS. And I remember this from last week or whenever I did this before. If I type in 333, it will say 333. So I'm going to learn from my mistake, and I'll say PS333. Happy to have you here. Whatever. Okay. So I can record myself saying this. What does that sound like? Y'all know what I sound like. I'm going to click generate. Oh, I'll show you just to show you the layout. If I click record myself, I can choose how. If I click voiceover, I can record myself here. Hello, folks. Welcome to PS333. Happy to have you here. And then I can preview it. Hello, folks. Welcome to PS333. Happy to have you here. And then after you preview, there's an option to insert it. So you can choose where this goes, but we want it in the beginning. So now if I play it, hello, folks. Welcome to PS333. Happy to have you here, right? But maybe you want an AI voice in there. So then let me go back to my scripts. Oops. Scene 1. Okay. And again, you can record yourself using the free version of Vids. If you wanted this to generate the voiceover using AI, again, you would have to buy a license in Famous, and you can buy just one license. If your principal wants like one staff member in your school to test it out, you can do that also. So generate the voiceover. So you click on that, and then you can choose the different voiceover. So there's a narrator.
The voice you select makes a difference in how viewers will respond to
The voice you select makes a difference in how viewers will.
The voice you select makes a difference in how
The voice you select
The voice you select makes a difference.
The voice you select makes a difference in how viewers will respond to your video.
I'm going to select coach, and we'll see what happens. I selected coach. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, no, okay, yeah, you click on that pencil to choose the different AI voices. I'm going to insert into timeline. And so, okay, it's like doing its like AI thing. And so now I'm curious. I'm going to hit play.
Hello, folks. Welcome to PS333. Happy to have you here.
That's interesting. Okay, so I think Canva, I'm looking at the chat here. Although, okay, I would love to see that chart also. I don't know where that is. I can try to find one and include it in the resources that I share with everybody. I believe Canva does have like a video editing tool. I'm not sure, but again, like I don't know if that is like IRMA approved. So again, like one of the big benefits of using something like Vids is that like it's approved for New York City to use. Again, big deal. And also, you know, we're all using Google Drive anyway. All of our, I would venture to say most of our documents are in our Drive, and we're all familiar with the layout. Terrence, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, Adobe Express is really great for like templates and other things, but this is really interesting and powerful for video. So let me play this AI voice one more time.
Hello, folks. Welcome to PS333. Happy to have you here.
Right, inflection's a little off. Again, all of these things are going to get better in time. And so if you wanted to continue like using different voiceovers, you would go to your different scripts here. So scene 3, if I play that. So yeah, if I wanted to add something here, you know, here are our foundation values, you know, and other things that make up our school. And then just to be funny, hot dog, nachos, ice cream, just to see what that sounds like. Doesn't make sense, but we'll see what it sounds like. Generate the voiceover. Maybe you still want the coach. Maybe you want to switch it up a little bit.
The voice you select makes a difference in how viewers will respond to your video.
The voice you select makes a
I'm going to choose persuader. Okay, so I have the some text here with some funny things at the end. Insert in the timeline. Again, it created a second audio timeline. The first audio timeline is the background music, and now this timeline you see at the bottom will be the voiceover. So the more elements you add to your video, the more timelines you'll have, the more tracks I'll say, the more tracks you'll see. And let's see what this sounds like.
Here are our foundation values and other things that make up our school. Hot dog, nachos, ice cream.
So yeah, if you that sounded pretty good. That sounded pretty good to me. But obviously you can have this say, you know, what you want. I believe most people here will use this for good and adding things that relate to their school. Canva is IRMA approved. Okay, Lisa, thank you. I guess if Canva's IRMA approved, then that video editing tool is IRMA approved also. So that's good to know. So you can test out what that looks like. Any other questions as I go through this? Again, feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to unmute yourself. I mean, what I just went over, I feel like that's enough for you to go ahead and like create your video. Like a lot of this is like really, you know, really interesting, really intuitive. I'm going to switch back to my slide deck. I just want to make sure that I'm covering all my bases here. So I gave everyone a quick demo of how Google Vids works. Again, at this point, we're all familiar with how Google Slides works, and this is essentially an extension of that, but creating videos. If you want, if you are doing it already, great. If you want to take a moment right now, open up a new tab, go to vids.google.com, test it out. You can test it out. As I went over, there are like easy ways to edit and enhance like the videos that you have, particularly when you're using a template. It's so easy to update that. You have a bunch of text. Oh, stylized text. Oh, I want to show that. Okay. I'm going to switch back to vids. Share this tab instead. Okay. So I think some of this is like, yes, like motion and stuff, but like some of this is stylized text, such as this. Let's test it out. Insert text. Okay, cool. You know what? Duplicate. Okay. So I'm on this scene right here, and if I hit play, campus life looks cool. I'm gonna right click on this this scene, and you have your options here, new scene template styles. I'm gonna duplicate the scene. Oh, but like keep this in mind too. You could also split the scene where the playhead, and the playhead is at like that line where the timeline is moving. So you could split that into two. But I'm gonna duplicate the scene just because I want to change the text. All right, so this says campus life. They both say that. I'm going to click on this one. So maybe I want to update the text here. Oh, okay, interesting. So I could select all and delete it, and then you can choose the different like text styles here. All right, so this I think was part of the original template. You can use this, and these are all, think of it as like different images that you put in there. And so again, it's nice not to start from scratch. You can go in and just choose like the different like text elements here. These are all headlines, but if you click on headlines, there's more here. Just to be completely random, I'll keep this happy birthday Jenny in here. But it's good to know that you can add these different headlines. Okay? Some of them have motion, some don't. Maybe, does this one? No. Okay, so this is just static text, but you know, you can choose just to say anything you want. Is there, and again, if you wanted to add, you know, a voiceover to this, you could. So again, you would go to scripts. You would have to find the scene that is. This is scene 8. All right. Happy birthday, Jenny. All right. Generate the voiceover. You would choose whoever. I'm going to stick with the same one. And again, it created it there. What does it sound like?
Happy birthday, Jenny.
All right. Now we're just having fun with this. Okay. So let me switch back to the slide deck one more time. So again, different ways to add text. There's different transitions, as I showed, also transitions between scenes, similar to how transitions work in Google Slides. Different shapes in there if you wanted to create animations. There's a lot that Google Vids can do. Okay, any questions? Any other questions so far? Okay, oh, thank you, Lisa put in the IRMA approved list in there. Oh, let me show one last thing. So I showed everybody the basics of editing a video in Vids, generating video, updating the text, the voiceovers. So what do you do when you're done? Okay, so just like, let me share this right. Just like any other Google tool, docs, slides, what have you, it's collaborative. And like that's the beauty of this. Like editing, making a video, it's collaborative work. So same idea. You can click on share. You would have to give this a name beforehand, you know, school video, school intro video. And then we're all familiar with this share window, right? You can type in the name of somebody from your school, what have you, if students have access to this. Okay, thanks, Lisa. Thank you so much for all your help here. So you would go ahead and share it. You could copy the link, but then once you're done editing, once you have your movie, you can go to File, and then you can download it as an MP4. So that's like an actual video file that you could upload to YouTube or, you know, another media site, Instagram, what have you, or you can export it to your drive. So if I hit export to drive, it's going to do that. Oh, is it done already? Oh, okay. So maybe you've seen this before. If you upload a video to your Google Drive, it's going to take some time for it to process. So this is what I see when I try to upload it in my drive. Okay, so if you're uploading it to your drive, expect that it will take some time for it to process. Otherwise, you could download it as an MP4 and like put it on YouTube or something else. Okay. So once you're done editing your video, those are a few of your options. You can share it with folks. You could download it as a file on your device, or you can export it to your drive. And then you would just have fun with it. You share it out, embed it in your school website, etc. Okay. I think that's enough. There's a lot of features on here. Perhaps I'll do like maybe like another session on this, like a deeper dive. But I think that's enough to get people started on this. So thank you everybody for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna pull up the CTLE link and put it in the chat if anybody needs that. Let's see. So if you need a CTLE hour for this, I just put it in the chat. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of the day. If anybody joined us, if anybody registered for our Gemini Academy this Wednesday, I hope to see you there. There's also a GEG meetup group happening that day. I hope you registered. I shared this with the last session. Thank you, everybody. I will email everyone the recording as well as the resources I went over. But thank you for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll hang out for a few minutes if anybody has any questions. Thank you so much. Nick, always good to see you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So I'll go ahead and end the recording here.